everybody. Oh my gosh, as you can tell, I'm kind of pumped here. We have a really fun conversation for you guys this afternoon, especially for all you country fans out there. We have today with us, I'm going to bring him on stage right now, Josh Cunningham with Cunningham Family Farms. So, just really quick, why in the world do you care about Cunningham Family Farms? Well, you'll be interested to know that it is because it is one of just a few stops on the Luke Bryan Family Farm Tour. And we get the pleasure of having him, Luke Bryan, that is, in our neck of the woods at Blossom, which is just a few minutes away here in the 330. And he's been making his way across the country, and he's soon to stop at the Cunninghams, which is significant because it just happens to be the family farm that I and Josh and all of our cousins grew up on, our parents grew up on. And so I'm like totally pumped to have Josh here with us today. Hi, Josh.
Hi, Jessica. I love the flannel. You've got the farm look going. This is great. It's like a theme.
I know. Well, you got to step your game up when Josh is coming, but more importantly, when Luke Bryan is coming to town. Are you kidding me?
Absolutely. Yeah, This is crazy. It's great. It's been a crazy summer, and we are in crunch time. It is 5 days until Luke Bryan takes over my mom's backyard, which is I don't know that I've quite conceptualized what this is going to look like. We've been working really hard all summer long. And like you said, this has some special meaning for you too. You used to bounce around on hay wagons throughout these fields and run through these cornfields. This was, our grandparents assembled this farm in 1949, and it has been a part of our family ever since. And it was at one point one of the largest farms in Westmoreland County, Pennsylvania. And we are lucky enough to have an American Idol host showing up on Saturday morning.
Unbelievable. So Luke Bryan is coming to Cunningham Family Farms in Smithton, PA, if you're wondering where exactly we're talking about here. So Josh, I've heard, little bits and pieces here about how in the world did this actually go down and how did it happen? So give us a little insight. Tell the folks out there, how was Cunningham Family Farms selected to be on this family farm tour?
Well, sure. First off, you can watch the entire kind of metamorphosis of how this took place all summer at our Instagram page at cunningham.familyfarm. So one morning, and I'll try to keep it short. I'm a long talker. Everybody knows that.
We got all the time you need.
I got a text message. I'm a school teacher in the middle of March from my mom and my sister, your cousin. And they said, hey, we got to talk about this Luke Bryan concert. And I thought we were going to a concert. I was like, oh, this is great. He must be coming somewhere around here. Well, I called my mom and she said, hey, I got a call from a guy who's claiming he's with Luke Bryan's security team. It was a cold call out of nowhere. We had never applied for any of this. And they said they might want to host a concert here. What do you think? And I said, Mom, I think it's a scam. And so this is like what a scam sounds like.
Right.
So we did some backwards engineering. We made all the right calls. And we eventually got set up for a site tour. And I said, until somebody is here, physically here, I still don't believe this is happening. And a guy comes in. He's got a rental car. He gets out. Bald guy, just looks like me, great guy. And he's got a shirt on that says 2008 Country Music Awards. And I said, hey, man, nice shirt. He goes, yeah, I produced that event. And I said, oh, man, we are in the game. And so we took him around. You know this, but for your viewers, our farm is about a mile off of Interstate 70. We have a huge truck stop. We already put about 700 cars in and out per day on this exit. We have a couple major warehouses there. I'm just on the other side of our farm. It's perfectly flat, just absolutely pristine, and it's a big rectangle. And so when they saw it, we took them out on the side-by-side, and we said, so his name's Dennis. He's the guy who sets up the farm tour. He's the producer. I said, Dennis, so what's our chances here, man? He goes, it's a giant rectangle a mile off an interstate. You have a really good chance.
Right.
And, as the summer went on, we got under contract. They gave us some stipulations on how they wanted everything done. And I'll be honest with you. So we haven't farmed since 2005. We are still a farm. We have rented out since 2000 farm to some other local folks. This year we took it back over ourselves just so that we could meet all of our contracts and everything. But without some of our good local farmers that are in business and that have really modernized and things like that, we'd have never pulled this off.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something I was going to ask you about too, because I've been following along on your Instagram at Cunningham Family Farms and just kind of watching as the summer unfolds. I've seen many people out in the fields, tractors, plows, planters, the whole deal, getting things prepared. So, talk about those other people in the community, your fellow farmers, so to say, who have stepped in and like, you know,
Yeah, for sure.
prepared the ground.
Really good friend out here. I live about 30 minutes from my parents' house now. As you can see in the background here, this is my house. This is not the farm. We are not parking you on a hill in the field in the middle of a forest. I have a really good friend. He's a veteran. His family has been farming since the mid 70s. And it wasn't very long ago that they realized family farms have a hard time. And he was a dairy farmer, and it was not a winning proposition anymore. And he knew that they needed to modernize. So he got a big grant from the state of Pennsylvania to become a teaching farm. As a
Hmm.
classroom, they opened a cheese factory, and all of his cows are milked by robot 24 hours a day. They don't have to even be there. If something goes wrong, there's an app that calls them in. His name's Todd Fry,
No
and he
way.
runs Pleasant Lane Creamery. If you're ever in Western Pennsylvania, you got to check them out. They're one of the best places. He hooked me up with another farmer who does some commercial planting. They plowed our fields for us. They helped us get planted. Todd Fry from over there, Pleasant Lane, he held all of our seed, about 7,000 pounds of seed, until we could get it in the ground. And then good old Gary Cunningham, my dad, and we
Hmm.
actually cut the field, mowed it down several times this summer, just like a lawn. That's
Uh-huh.
what Luke Bryan said. He said, if you can make this like a lawn, that's what we're looking for. So we've mowed it 3 or 4 times. We had a great time doing it. It was
Hmm.
very nostalgic. The place that we live, where the concert's going to be held, is about a half a mile from, what you recognize as being Grandma and Grandpa's farm. And as I'm mowing, I could always just see the
Hmm.
old silos out there. And it's been like I said,
Oh.
very nostalgic summer. I've really had a really good time doing this. I think the whole family has. But I am a school teacher, so I
Hmm.
also we did a ton of media. Most of the farm tour are operational farms. Millersport, Ohio. I know
Hmm.
they're down there here in a couple days. They're an operational farm. Well,
Hmm.
I'm not. I have summers off, so I pretty much put all this on Instagram. We had our local radio station Y108 come out and broadcast from the farm one morning, and we have both done a ton of hard work, like in the old days, but we have had a ton of fun.
That sounds I can just picture you honestly getting your hands dirty in the dirt, literally and figuratively speaking, with all these logistics that have been going on, talking to all the folks that need to, be in the mix with who's doing what and when. So I'm wondering if you can give us some insight, some behind the scenes, maybe info on how does like all this structure
It
come to be built on the farm. I'm totally
it's
curious. I
crazy.
imagine they're going to set up some stage or what?
Yes, they're going to do all of that. And
Okay.
I'm hoping to put up a time lapse photo in the top of my dad's barn. But if you go to lukebryant.com or you go to YouTube and search Luke Bryan Farm Tour, you'll see some of these time lapse photos. So, really, what's going to happen is this. Just today, we got 3 semi trucks delivered from Sunbelt Rentals of Porta Johns and light poles. On
Okay.
Friday, he has a team. So we are done now. We At this point we have completed all
Okay.
of our contractual obligations. All we have left to do is get ready for the party. Yep, we are done.
Okay.
We finished mowing on Saturday. So on Friday, he has a scout team that'll come out. We have a couple local forklift drivers that are going to drag these light poles all over the fields, get the porta johns all set up. But
Mhm.
that is all that happens on Friday. On Friday night, he's playing in Millersport,
Okay.
Ohio, out kind of, I guess, near Columbus. And somewhere around 5 in the morning, in will roll 28 semi trucks. And between 6
Oh
in the
my gosh.
morning and 11 in the morning, they are going to construct an entire concert area, which is going to be 30 acres fenced in. That is a huge amount of space. If people think 30 acres, that is like having 30 football fields in one space. They're going to have a 20-foot tall stage. They're going to have lasers. They have concessions, alcohol sales, regular sales, merch, the whole thing. It's like you are at a normal concert. And then somewhere in there around 11 a.m., 12 tour buses roll in with Luke Bryan, his DJ, and 3 other bands. And then doors are going to
Uh-huh.
open to that concert area at 5. Our parking, it's done by a parking management company out of Tennessee. They open at 2 p.m. The parking lots do. People can tailgate all day long until 5. 5 is when the concert area opens. Music starts right then. Luke comes on about 8,
Mhm.
and it's going to be a great night. I've seen some of the videos. He was in Hershey, PA a couple days ago. It just looks
Mhm.
absolutely wonderful. Luke Bryan grew up on a farm, so he knew exactly what he's getting into. And all of his proceeds actually go back into local food banks, local FFAs, and Bayer, which actually is a
Oh,
major
cool.
agricultural seed company.
Wow, that is so cool. As I'm hearing you talk about it, I'm just picturing like the farm and the farm that I knew, the farm that you knew, and thinking like, can you even imagine that Luke Bryan is coming to Grandma and Pap's farm? Like it's wild, and specifically your house, Josh, like the house you grew up in, which is just crazy to think, but also so cool. What do you think like Grandma and Pap would say about something like
I
this?
think
If you think back on them and just who they are, what are your thoughts on what they would think?
my mom, Joyce, your aunt, she did an interview with a
Mhm,
local radio or TV station, and she really
mhm,
did think very introspectively about this. And she,
mhm.
not only were our grandparents, really good, hardworking people, but they were also very outspoken. I mean, they were very involved in their local community, local church. Pap was the head of the farmers union. These were definitely not meek and quiet farmers. I think that
Mhm.
we're both great public speakers, right? Here we are, on air. I,
Right.
I think that a lot of that comes from them. And I think that things like this, I don't know if they would have hosted this, but I think that the
Mhm.
boldness of having something like this is right in kind of in their wheelhouse of what they would have done. And I hope that they're looking down and they're thinking, first off, keep everybody safe. And a credit to local law enforcement, by the way. We've had about 15 hours of safety meetings.
Oh, I can
It
imagine.
is, I just
Mhm.
really, the Pennsylvania State Police and the local security and everything like that, they're great. But I'd like to think Grandma and Papa were looking down and going, like, this looks like a ton of fun, and I'm glad they did this.
Oh yeah, I have the same sentiment as well. I think that they would be really excited. I think that I could hear him almost talking to a stranger at a gas pump while he's filling up the dump truck about how Luke Ryan is coming to the farm and telling, just sharing, because that's what they did. They shared, they cared, and gosh, man, they were really awesome people.
Just
So
absolutely.
okay, yeah, so I just have a couple like other random things. We talked about the preparations. We talked about everything that you guys have done to prepare the ground. We talked about Luke Bryan, his crew coming in, the stage getting set up. You just mentioned local law enforcement. Let's talk about the people who are coming to our family farm. So, what can they expect? I hear that it's a sold out
It
crowd,
is a sold out
and
crowd.
I think you also have some tips for these folks as they
Wildly
arrive.
exciting. So listen, we are the Luke Brown's been doing these for 14 years. We are the fastest sellout in history. They told us, the producer said,
Yes.
you will have 2 weeks to be able to buy your tickets. 5 days after
Uh-huh.
they went on sale, we were sold out. So we have been trying to actually expand our parking lot so that we could have even more ticket sales. We've had a wait list for so long. Obviously the biggest
Okay.
thing, if you have not grown up on a farm, you haven't been to a farm, in our Instagram era, our influencer era, everybody wants to come out and take the pretty picture. The number one thing that will send you to the field hospital is a turned ankle. We are encouraging people, tennis shoes at a minimum, please wear boots. Dress in layers. It is
Mhm.
a field. We kind of have a constant breeze blowing there. It's supposed to get down to about
Mhm.
52 that night. So, dress in layers. Definitely try to be warm. Inside of the concert area, once you're in, you can't leave, but you are allowed to bring in a chair, a tarp, a blanket.
Mm.
There's obviously no seating. It is standing room only. Debit and credit card are both accepted, but there is no ATM on site, anything like that. But again, I put my daughter to work on this. She's 8. And I found that way more of my Instagram things happen when I put a cute 8-year-old on instead of a bald old guy. And she has done a really good job saying, like, no fighting, clean up after yourselves.
Yeah.
No grills, no glass when it comes to the tailgating. We were really worried. We're in a
Mm.
drought just like you guys are. Until today, we got some
Yeah.
pretty good rain, and it definitely got everything nice and wet, but it also drained really well. So, I think that our
Nice.
our chances of potential fire have went down, but still no glass, no grills, things like that. Tailgating is available all day long. Um, I'm
It's
trying to think of
awesome.
the other things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Most things were
I
bought
know.
on
It sounds like
most things were bought online, but there
so
is parking available at the door for $20. Anybody who wants to come out, you do have to have a ticket to the show. Is the rumor true that I'll see you on Saturday, Jessica?
I'm gonna say confirmed.
Oh,
We think we are making plans to head out east to see my cousins and hang out with you and Luke Bryan, of course, and everybody else. I hope to see a ton of family out there. Frankly, that is what I am most looking forward to. So yeah, me and my mom absolutely are taking a little road trip out
maybe
east.
we can do a
So I
live
know that.
live piece for the 3:30 there. I mean,
Yeah.
that'd be all right for
Yes,
sure.
yes, we will absolutely be doing that. I'll be posting stuff all over our social media channels. This is going to be on YouTube and will be on our Facebook and all that stuff as well. But I have a couple of questions, rapid fire questions for you, Josh, just for fun, because folks are going to be coming in. We want to learn a little bit more about you, but also my first rapid fire question, which I'm sure you'll have right at the top of your head, is when folks come into town, give us the best Smithton, PA pizza joint.
Oh, pizza joint. What? Listen, I plug a buddy has a place down in West Newton, Pennsylvania, right on the Yawk River. It's called Trailside. I don't even know if they have pizza, but listen, I'm gonna point you toward wings. I'm a wing guy, so you got
There
to go
you
down to
go.
Trailside in
Oh,
West Newton. Make a weekend out of it. If you guys see this now, Western PA is a beautiful place. You do a lot of hiking, a lot of biking. You can go down our rivers, all kind of stuff. But go to Trailside in West Newton.
all right. Trailside West Newton. What is your favorite ice cream flavor, Josh?
Butter pecan recently. I was at Penn State this weekend, and
Oh,
my daughter and I shared a nice pint of butter pecan after a big Penn State win.
excellent choice. Do you prefer Nintendo or Sega
Oh,
Genesis?
Nintendo all day long. I
Oh,
think Mario 3 from original NES changed the world. A lot of other things that we can
uh-huh.
blame today are based on NES. Yes.
I love that. I actually remember playing or Mario 3 in your basement while Aunt Joyce was
That's
sewing in the
exactly what she's
background,
doing
and I
now,
was
30
making
years later.
scrunchies.
Yep, she's still doing the same.
I'm sure. I love
It's
it.
a
All right,
25%
and then
chance my mom is actually going to be sewing during the concert. My mom is a workaholic.
right.
All of us, if you have our grandparents' blood in you, you work all the time. Mom has said, I don't even want to go out. I have things to do.
Oh,
19,000 people in her
I
backyard.
believe it. Yes, I can relate. Let me just say that. All right, last question for you. Luke Bryan song. Which one do you want to hear the most at the Cunningham Family Farm concert? Which one are you
I'm going
looking
to throw
forward
two
to?
at you. So I've always loved Rain is a Good Thing. I think it's just a catchy line. Rain makes corn,
Mm.
corn makes whiskey. Very recently, though, as we've been listening to all this music and I've been doing all these posts, I don't always want to just use the same one. So there's a song called What Makes You Country. And in it, there's a
Mm.
line that says, I got my dirt road cred when I was 12 on a no cab tractor hauling them bales. And
Oh,
I got to start working on the farm
oh,
against my will at the age of 12 on a no cab tractor out raking hayfields. And it really
mhm.
speaks to me that, it doesn't really matter how you get to be country, whether it's hunting or fishing or going on hikes or
Aw.
whatever it is. My country sounds very much like what Luke went through, but I really love that line because I was on a no cab tractor when I was 12.
My goodness, what a way to end our conversation there, Josh. I love it. So thank you so
Can't wait
much
to
for
see
carving
you.
out some time to share your this whole thing with 330 and 330 to go audience. So thank you so much and I appreciate you. I am totally looking forward to seeing you on Saturday. I'm going to give you a big hug and we're going to party with Luke Bryan like he ain't never seen anything
Miss
else.
you all the
So
time. Can't
we'll
wait to
see you
see you.
soon. Miss you too. All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.